Hey, what is up, my ASMR and fragrance family? It is your boy, your whispering perfume pimp, Christopher Cologne, and I'm back with, well, this video. So, what we have today is I'm going to be answering your questions. So, this is for 3,000 subscribers. I appreciate y'all. For all the new subscribers, appreciate y'all being here. For all y'all that have been rocking with me for a lot longer, really appreciate y'all, rocking with me this far. So, I know I've done a lot of, like, some people would say whining, I guess you could say, because I'm not moving the way I wanted to move up. But, it's not necessarily whining, it's just me stating, obvious to me. So, but, yeah, I already did this video earlier today. Well, I did half of it. It was an hour and 30 minutes. And I just didn't like it because my mind I wasn't thinking of stuff and all that, and I was struggling to remember certain things, and I'm probably still going to struggle to remember certain things, but I wasn't happy with it, so I erased it. And and then I was gonna try to still do it and get it out, but it didn't work like that. So this is Saturday's video now. But yeah, so I was gonna try to do these in order, but I don't think it's in order. So I'm just gonna start at the top and work my way down. So yeah, and I got that light that I got from Five Below up. I was trying to mess with it and change it, but the remote wasn't working. So I pulled the little tab out that holds the battery, and then the battery dropped, and I have no idea where it went. Like, I can't find it anywhere, so I'll probably find it sometime tomorrow. But yeah, anyway, so first question is, it's G Brooks. So well, G Brooks, what is your favorite TV show and movie? Well, I guess my favorite TV show would be, I don't know, like, for the most part I quit watching TV a long time ago, but, like, I guess growing up, my favorite TV show was probably, other than, like, Spider-Man and cartoons that were on in the 90s, I guess my favorite TV show would have been probably, as far as a sitcom, I guess you could say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was my favorite growing up. And then being older, my favorite TV show was probably Supernatural. That's as far as, like, TV. But if you want to go to, like, Netflix and all that, then I love Stranger Things. I really liked Cosmos that had Neil deGrasse Tyson on it, and which was a show from back in the day too, with a different host. I can't remember the different host name, but yeah. And then my favorite movie of all time is probably The Fast and the Furious. So The Fast and Furious, or might be Pulp Fiction coming in next, or Gladiator, and Fast and Furious are right there with each other. So, but I have others that are, like, right beyond those. So, like Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, So, but do you watch ASMR, and who is your favorite ASMR artist? I do watch ASMR, and my favorite ASMR artist is probably Grace V, but which her sister is Mad's ASMR. Maddie does too much. Like, I love her whenever she's just Maddie. I love just her whisper and stuff, but she does a lot of inaudible whispering, so that kind of, I don't watch her anywhere near as much. So, because inaudible whispering drives me nuts. So, like, one of my favorite go-tos is her her sleep video, the sleep ER video, and it's, the first up like to 22 minutes or something like that is one of my favorite videos. But yeah, her sister Grace is my favorite ASMR artist. She's got the clicky whisper, and yeah, and that's what really triggers me. So, but I have a lot of others that are right there after her, and are right there with her. So, and what is a secret talent that you have? I'm pretty much an open book, so the talents that I have had, I've never, they've always been out there. Like I used to rap, make music, stuff like that. I used to be able to throw the shit out of a football like that. If nothing was wrong with me and I could have had my life the way I wanted it, yeah, I would have played football for a living. So, but that's a straight up dream, So, but yeah, so I don't really have any talents, I guess you could say, that are a secret. But now we got Zach. So, Zach, what's your dream job? Well, my dream job is, like I just said, would have been football. That's my dream job. But outside of that, it was probably music. Now, whenever I used to look for repos, because I used to work in the repo business and for like 2 or 3 years, and I used to look for repos and help out with repos. I didn't drive the truck. They wanted me to with one of the companies, but I didn't do it. So because the truck bounces around so bad, the one time that I did drive it started setting off my symptoms. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But yeah. But like as far as like just regular old jobs, man, I love doing that. And I didn't realize whenever I had it that I had, I guess you could say, my dream job. But yeah, I used to love doing that, searching for, running accounts, looking for repos. And it would, the car that I had was, it had a camera system set up so it would scan tags too while I was running accounts. And if it ran across a tag that was in the system, for a car that was up for repossession, a little alarm on the computer would go off. Then I'd have to make sure that the car was the one that was in the system and everything. Sometimes it would run across a tag that was to a car we were looking for, but a lot of times it wasn't. So I'd get out and look and search for, not search, but check the VIN and make sure it was the right one. And yeah, your adrenaline gets going sometimes, especially when you have a big ass dude come flying around the corner from his truck, at like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, so yeah, that was a pretty cool job. But wearing, and hold on. Yeah, what's your dream job? Okay, that's it. Did you go to college? Yeah, in 2005 and 2006, I took what's it called? Broadcasting. So I took broadcasting because what I really wanted to learn, I wanted to really learn how to work video cameras and like studio equipment and everything, and I thought I was going to get to learn that, and I was going to get to learn the video cameras and some of the sound equipment. But whenever I got into it, like I took media law and I took some other classes, and it wasn't what I thought it was. So I was like, you know what, this ain't me, and I'm gonna figure out something else. So I quit, and then I went back to college in 2010, and I wanted to learn how to build my own motorcycles, design, build my own motorcycles and everything, because like y'all seen the Can-Am Spiders, right? The reverse trikes with the 2 front wheels. I wanted to build shit like that. And if you don't know, look up a Yamaha Tesseract. It's a 4-wheel motorcycle, and motorcycle, and the wheels are closer in. They're not wide out like a regular quad, but as you lean, the suspension tilts with it. So I wanted to learn how to build stuff like that and design my own stuff. So I was going to go to MMI in Florida, and then I was like, I can't do that because of my family. And then I was like, well, that ain't gonna really necessarily teach me how to design. So I looked into it and I was like, well, I'll go for industrial design and learn industrial design. And I can learn, if I know all that, if I learn all that, all the mechanical stuff, I can figure out how the rest of it, as far as building my own motorcycle and all that. So that's what I ended up, or I was going to do that, but the closest one was in Georgia, and I was like, well, I can't do that because of my family. So I went to the community college, and I put my own curriculum together. So I had some welding, some auto body, some that I was going to be taking, or that I was taking. So I had some auto body plastics, some auto body welding. I was taking TIG welding. I was taking what else was it? I took hydraulics, and I was going to be taking drafting. I took machining, and then there was some other classes that I was going to take. Stuff that I would need to learn how to design my own shit. So, but all the medical problems and everything, they were bothering me so bad at the time. I had to quit, which sucks because even though I was having all the medical problems and I was having trouble in classes and I was having to leave early and everything like that, I still had a 3.8 GPA. So it's just like, man, damn, I gotta quit this shit. Come on now. I'm pretty sure it was a 3.8 GPA. I know it was no lower than a 3.6, but that's like disheartening as hell. So yeah, so I ended up dropping out because of that. And then I wanted to go back to be a doctor. And then I found out how long that was, and I was in my 30s by this time, and I was like, you know what? Nobody's gonna hire me and start me over on another career at 40 years old when I get out of school. So I didn't do that. Now I'm 43, and I'm like, fuck, I should have done that. So, but we learn. So, but I've been wanting to go back now, but I've been dealing with so many problems medically now, and they're not the same as they used to be either. So I'm trying to figure out something to get around those a little bit, and then possibly go for something medical, or something in genetics, or something like that, something where I can help people like me and that are way worse than me. So now I know I'll be 50 when I get out of school, but hell, if I live 20, 30 more years pretty good, I can help out a lot of people, and who knows what else I could do in the field. So, but yeah. And where in the U.S. did you grow up? Well, I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas. That's where I was born at. Grew up there until 94, whenever I was 12, and then we moved up here. So we moved up here to North Carolina, and I've been here ever since, and in ways, I guess I could say, unfortunately. So, but yeah, thanks for the question, Zach, and thanks for the question, G. Brooks. And then Mike, what up, Mike? Yo, you've been here for a while. Greetings, Chris. I think I've been watching your channel for a couple years now, and I really enjoy watching your videos. Yeah, man, you've been here a while. Appreciate you, dude. And things will get better. A better career's coming soon. I hope they appreciate you better. My questions for you are, yeah, man, and I'm hoping this takes off. This and the whole Christopher Cologne thing and everything, I hope it all takes off. So because that's what I'd like to do now too. That's why I started all this. So your first question is, will you be doing more ASMR headlight restoration videos? I hope so, man. It depends on how I feel. So that's like in the past week and a half, I have driven twice. The last week when I drove, I ended up having to have I guess we'll call him my son-in-law. He ended up having to drive. I picked him up from work. He ended up having to drive the rest of the way because my dizzy spells were going so bad. And then yesterday, well, since this is being released on Saturday, well, I'll say Wednesday when I took my boys to school, I didn't feel right when I was driving. I was feeling worse. And then whenever I went and picked my oldest son up and brought him home on the way back, it was like my nervous system my senses were just being overloaded. And then when my daughter called, and when she called, it was just like the ringing finished everything off, and I just went all to shit. I had to pull over and everything like that. So I don't know. I'm hoping I would like to do a detailed video and everything like that, but we'll see. That's like I was vacuuming out my truck with my daughter and my youngest son and my daughter's boyfriend the other day, and hell, I vacuumed half of the damn truck, and then it was like I started going to shit. I had to come back in. So yeah, I don't know, dude. I hope. So do you listen to any podcast? If so, which ones? I do listen to podcasts, not all the time, but like, of course, Joe Rogan, because I like the different guests that he's had on, over the years. So, and then one of the newer ones that I listen to, now he's been around for a little bit, I think like a year, a little over a year, something like that, where that's when I found him. I think his name's Steve Bartlett. He's the host. His podcast is called Diary of a CEO. And I like his probably better than Joe Rogan's. So yeah, and then there's been other ones I've kind of checked out, but I don't know, I didn't really get into them like that. But like a lot of stuff I've been watching, looks weird, a lot of stuff I've been watching, what was I saying? I'm getting distracted. A lot of stuff I've been watching is like doctors and lectures by doctors and just, stuff on crypto and everything like that. So, I probably normally watch podcasts a little bit more, but, okay, are you a fan of Quentin Tarantino? I'm not necessarily a fan of Quentin Tarantino, but one of his movies is one of my all-time favorites. What is it? I was about to say From Dusk Till Dawn, which I like From Dusk Till Dawn. Then I almost said Kill Bill, which is crazy because I hate Kill Bill. But Pulp Fiction, I said the damn movie earlier, but yeah, Pulp Fiction. And then lastly, I remember you mentioned you've had your gallbladder removed. How have you been since the operation? I'm supposed to have mine removed soon, and I'd just like to know what to expect post-surgery. Okay, so post-surgery, it did hurt. I don't think it hurt as much as I thought it was going to, but, it still hurt. Now, I'm in a gallbladder group on Facebook, so a lot of people that are in there had their gallbladder taken out. They still have a lot of problems. Like, some people have said they wish they would have never had it removed. Other people are fine. Like, pretty much everybody I've actually known in person that has had theirs taken out, they've been fine. Like my ex-wife, she had hers taken out. A woman I worked with, she had hers taken out, was fine. My ex-wife was fine. A dude I used to know that he had his taken out, and the dude still drinks like a fish, and he was fine. But yeah, so pretty much everybody I've ever known in person has been fine. But me, I still get what feel like gallbladder attacks. I still end up with pain right where my gallbladder and liver, was at. Like, me and Leslie were laying there last week, and she was kind of laying on me, and that shit was hurt. And I was like, man, you gotta get up. I gotta move. But that shit was hurting all across my diaphragm and into my chest and everything. So, and I'm intolerant to so many foods, and that might be from the gallbladder, being removed. That could be from other things. So there's no telling. That could be from my Chiari and stuff. But yeah, I'm intolerant to a lot of foods now. So sucks. But for the most part, I guess I'm alright. And if you have a bad gallbladder and you keep it in, it could end up potentially causing cancer and other problems. So, yeah, man. But either way, if you have it removed, I hope everything goes good. Which Leslie did a gallbladder cleanse a few years ago. Like, she was doing nothing but certain protein shakes and gallbladder cleanses and everything, and she did that, and for I think it was like a month, and she ended up just fine. Like, she eats worse than I do. She eats like fucking shit. But yeah, she eats worse than I do, and she has less digestive problems than I do. So, but yeah. And where was I at? I accidentally scrolled down. Oh yeah, and John J D and B. What were your favorite hobbies growing up? I don't know. I guess messing around with music, because I've messed with music pretty much my whole life. So messing around with music, but riding bikes, rollerblading, skateboarding until I got hit by the car. Because after I got hit by the car, I couldn't skateboard no more. Couldn't rollerblade no more either. But yeah, that type of stuff. Yeah. So I was an outside kid most of the time. I still liked video games, but I don't know if you'd call that a hobby. But and favorite current TV shows and movies. It's been a while since I've been to the movies. I guess currently, my favorite movies are what they've always been, like Fast and Furious, Pulp Fiction, Gladiator, Shawshank Redemption, 300. There's others too that I can't even think of right now. But favorite current TV shows. If you want to count Stranger Things as one, because like I said, I don't watch TV. Yeah. And what is the best lesson you've learned in life? Man, I've learned a bunch of them, honestly. But be patient, be patient. Discipline yourself, self-discipline. And it's like Will Smith said, self-discipline is the highest form of self-love, and it really is. Because if you have no discipline, you will trash your body, and that's not self-love. So, but yeah, patience. Learn, because you can never learn enough. So that's like one of your best things you could do. There's a number of things that life has taught me. So, and life is still teaching me. So, but yeah, those are some of them. And then Sam, love your videos. Chris, congrats on 3K. Appreciate it. Keep on grinding, and thanks for helping all of us relax. My questions are, if you could only eat 2 foods for the rest of your life, what would they be? So they would probably be, if I could eat them without them bothering me, probably peanut butter and chocolate mixed together. Peanut butter and chocolate, it's gotta be that mix. And well, the last time I recorded this video and messed it up, I said steak was another one, but I don't know. It would probably be peanut butter and chocolate and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Man, I love a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I can't eat bread, so which I did find some bread that is gluten-free bread that's actually worth a damn. So So, which has more than likely has to do with mold and stuff like that, which we can get into. But yeah, those would probably be it as far as if stuff didn't bother me. But so what is something you'd really like to do with your kids that you haven't done? Take them all on vacation. Just me and them. I would like to take them all on vacation because I haven't taken them all on vacation since 2014, before me and my ex split. So, yeah, 2014 was the last time. Now, me and my daughter, we went and seen Stained, you know, and, you know, we do stuff and everything, but as far as, like, really doing something, yeah, that's what I'd like to do with all three of them, just me and them. But that's not going to happen. So, and that's one of the things that bothered me, because I know that's gone. And, what is it? Here we go. And how did you get into ASMR and when? Now, are you talking about how did I get into listening to ASMR? Because that was Maria Gentle Whispering. This was in like 2018, I think, 2018. Yeah, in 2018. I think she ran across my Facebook or YouTube, and I checked the video out, and I was, you know, I got the tingling, and I was, you know, reading the comments and everything, and I was like, holy shit. So I'm not the only one that experiences this, because I always thought it was just me. And evidently it's not just me. So, but yeah, so that's whenever I got into it. Now, if you're talking about when I started doing it, it was 3 years ago now, a little over 3 years ago. And yeah, and Blade Whisper Pro is a big, I was thinking about doing it already, but then I watched Blade Whisper Pro's, I was watching his video, his Cologne video in the car, and then I got to thinking, I was like, you know what, I could do an ASMR channel on Cologne reviews. So that right there is what got me into doing it. Now, what's your favorite tattoo that you have? It's this one right here, which is a cover-up of, which is the same thing, but it was done in pink. It was a broken heart down here and a Superman symbol up here. But yeah, it was in 2010 when me and my ex were, the first time she left me. Yes, I said the first time, but it was the first time she left me, and I was at a friend's house, and it was E and Ashley was supposed to do a tattoo on me later, and she ended up having to go to work, so she went to work. Well, me and E were there, we were drunk as fuck, and he wanted to do it. He wanted to do a tattoo. We never did one before, and my drunk ass wanted the tattoo. So what did we do? Me and him, we tatted me up. So it was horrible looking, and he blew my veins out right in there, and that shit was all swollen up and black and blue and everything. Fucking horrible. Can't believe we did it. But then a few years later, a friend of mine, Tony, he covered it up the best he could, and so the ink has stayed pretty good. But now I'd like to go in and have another artist like really go over it and add to it all around, but I don't know, because at the same time I don't even want my tattoos anymore. So yeah, but and then right there, but yeah, it's a cover up, and the broken heart is because whenever I had it done, whenever me and my ex split, she like, I was having a lot of my medical problems at the time, and whenever we split, and then whenever she left, I just didn't give a fuck. So I started trying to work out again. I started dropping my weight, starving myself, and whenever I don't eat, I feel so much better. I always always have been like that. I build muscle better whenever I don't eat. And I know you got autophagy and all this and that. And I can go into why I think my body does so much better whenever I'm starving. But, yeah. So anyway, you know, I just didn't give a fuck. Now, I still was having symptoms. Like, I ended up at the ER with my heart rate at 250, and all that. So, which I can get into that, another one. But, yeah, so, I was still, which they put me on metoprolol, which kept my heart in rhythm, you know, it kept my heart from, you know, experiencing, postural, or not postural, paroxysmal atrial tachycardia. So it kept me from experiencing that. So I was able to work out and everything, and I felt like me again, you know, before all my symptoms started on me in 2008. So, but it was like my broken heart is what brought me back to that. So, and I felt like Superman, you know. So, the Superman symbol pushing into the broken heart and breaking the heart is kind of resembles all that. But now, that little piece right there, I don't know if you can really see it. Right there, where the ink is, where that circle. I got mad one day, in like 2016, I guess 2017, somewhere around there. I got mad and was smoking, and I was like, motherfucker, and I just put the damn cigarette out on my arm right there. And that's why that circle spot is there. But yeah, so that's probably my favorite tattoo. And I need to do a video going over all of them, honestly. But now we have linden tree. So, linden tree, best cologne with sandalwood. Okay. So, best cologne with sandalwood is probably... So, Armaf Aura has sandalwood in it. Armaf Aura has sandalwood in it. That's pretty good, GB. Dr. Squatch Fireside Bourbon has sandalwood in it. This Dolce & Gabbana, the one EDP, has sandalwood in it. This is, and this is probably this is definitely the most sandalwood heavy fragrance out of those three, but this is probably, like, out of my collection, this is probably the best one. So I love this shit. The only problem is this doesn't last that long, so that's the only problem with it. And then MPG, what's your best or favorite memory that's related with music? Probably when I took my daughter to see Aaron Lewis in like 2017. Was it 2017? Yeah. Or was it 2016? Hold on. It was 2017. I took her to see Aaron Lewis. She was like, I think she was like 12 or 13. We went to the House of Blues in Myrtle Beach. So that was probably my best memory with music, even though I have other good ones, like, you know, being on stage myself, and me and Leslie going and seeing Metallica, or me and Leslie and my daughter and a friend of ours going and seeing, going to Carolina Rebellion. So, but yeah, me and my daughter going, that's probably my most favorite one. And then, love your videos, by the way. I wish you the best. Appreciate it. Now we got Sufi or Sufi MP3. What cologne scent takes you back to a time in your childhood or earlier in life? This is probably the number one Tommy Hilfiger. Takes me back to my high school days. So, takes me back to my high school days, because I was in high school, you know, late 90s. And then we have, like, what is it? Like, I love cool water. So, like, I love that. And then I love Curve. So those bring me back. But another one that brings me back to like my childhood is like, which I haven't smelled them in years, but if I were to smell it, it would take me back. Y'all ever seen the cologne bottles that are shaped like old cars? The Avon cologne bottles, those right there, those scents will take me back too, because my grandpa had a bunch of them. So, and then we have Gus O'Ward. See, now earlier, whenever I did this video the first time, Gus's comment was the very first one. He was the one at the very top. Now he's not. So, what did you do for work? The job that I just quit, I was at a place called Mannequin, and and what I did, I was in the physical testing lab. What I did was I tested like pH levels and stuff, but then I would also have to test the flame retardant. So I would test military fabric and other fabrics and everything, and the flame couldn't go past a certain amount, otherwise it would fail. So that's what I'd do all night. I would measure, or a lot of the night I would burn that shit, measure it, tear it, measure it and everything. Pretty boring job. So but yeah, that was the last, that's what I did. So, and what's your favorite genre of music? Did you have a good day? I did have a good day, guys. Hope you did too. But what's your favorite genre of music? Probably rock rap. I don't know if that's a legit genre, but that's my favorite music, is rock and rap. I love rock, new metal, and then I love hip hop and stuff too. So you mix those two together, that's my favorite right there. Like that rap life. So I was gonna do rock life hats and all that shit too, but this was whenever me and Leslie had the old business. But yeah, so that's probably my favorite. Now we got Christian Job. Christian asked, am I your favorite British subscriber? I guess so, Christian. I'm pretty sure, yeah, man. I don't know how many British subscribers I have. I know Kurt ASMR, which if y'all have never checked out Kurt ASMR, y'all check him out. But he does a lot of fragrance stuff too. But yeah, Christian, I guess you are, man, because you're in the comment section a good bit. So, yeah. And what was the first song you learned on guitar? Probably "Blind" by Korn, but I've never really been. And then I learned, I can't remember if it was a Pink Floyd song or not. I don't even remember how it goes, but I was like, because I've always been more for, I wanted to play my own stuff that I made up. So I never really cared to learn other people's shit. But whenever I start messing with the guitar again, I am gonna learn other people's stuff. But there was, I can't remember if it was a Pink Floyd song or not. It was one of the bands from back in the day. But my mom was seeing a guy, and he taught me how to play it on my acoustic guitar. And I remember you had to get your pinky fingers so far out from the rest of everything to hit the certain chords and shit. And it was awful trying to play that song, but I got to where I could play it. And I wish I could remember the name of it and who it was by and everything, but that's all I can remember. But yeah. And then number 3, if you could turn into an animal for the remainder of your life, what would it be? Probably a wolf. In all honesty, probably a wolf. Either a wolf or a domesticated dog that belongs to a really rich person that gets pampered and shit. So, because I like dogs. So, and then we have Mr. Misanthrope. videos and wish you all the best. Your voice has a great quality when whispering. Appreciate you. Appreciate it. My questions are, do you remember when you first experienced ASMR? Probably. I don't remember when I first experienced ASMR, but I remember whenever I was younger, if I was in like an office setting or a library setting where there was still things happening, but everybody was trying to be quiet, that would, I could feel the tingles, or people were around whispering or whatever, I'd get the tingles. Or like I remember whenever I was younger and I'd watch Bob Ross painting, he'd set off the ASMR in me and stuff, the response. So yeah. But as far as like whenever I first experienced it, I don't remember the first time, which I don't remember the majority of my life, so it sucks. Number 2, is there any ASMR creator that you'd like to collaborate with? Man, I would like to collaborate with a bunch. That's like Quiet Cavalier, which I don't know his name, but I'd like to collaborate with him, which I don't. You gotta be kidding me, a freaking fly. But I don't know. I don't even know where he's been. I haven't seen him post anything, and I know he had COVID, and and considering the way a lot of people catch COVID and then they end up going all to shit for a while afterwards, and even years, because I'm in a long COVID group too, because on Facebook, because I started wondering, well, maybe it was whenever I caught COVID that's got my ass, that had my symptoms change, which I guess that's a possibility. So I started looking into all the different avenues and everything. But yeah, so I'm hoping he's alright. But yeah, I would like to do a collab with him. I'd like to do a collab with Lolling Lisa, which she, I contacted her on Instagram and asked her if I could do something with one of her videos, and she said yeah, and I was going to download it. Come on, fly. And I was going to download it, but I couldn't download it. So I was going to do, she does a lot of questionnaire videos and stuff, stuff like that. So I was going to do one where it was I was going to put her on my computer and record me on the computer doing a video call with her. But my studio monitors have way too much crackling in them. I gotta get some new ones, so I couldn't do that. And hold on. I stopped the video and was gonna get his ass, and then he stopped flying, so I don't know where he went. But yeah, there's Lolling Lisa. There's other artists too that I just can't think of right now. But yeah, I'd like to do a collab, Now, I don't know how exactly I do it, because even though I know how to record music, which I haven't, I might have to brush up on that, and other things, I am not really all that technologically inclined, in all honesty. So, yeah, damn fly. And number 3, would you ever consider doing a reaction channel for music, movies, ghost videos, historical events, or anything else that might interest you? I've actually thought about that a bunch. If I went with everything that I've thought about, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I do, and I've actually thought about doing strictly ASMR reaction, videos where and either do it on here or do it on my Let's Talk ASMR channel, which I'm gonna start working on now. But yeah, I've thought about doing, doing the just reacting to them and reacting to ASMR videos while I'm in ASMR format too. So but yeah, I've thought about doing all the other stuff too on maybe the regular Christopher Cologne channel, or starting up a whole nother channel and sticking to my old rap name, C Graham, CG. So, because, I don't know, man, the whole Christopher Cologne thing, I like it, but at times it's just that's not me. I've always went by I've always went by CG. I've always went by C Graham. So, but yeah. And number 4, if you won a huge lottery, what would you do with the money? Well, one of the first things I would do is, first couple things I would do, I would give money to like St. Jude. So, yeah, I would give money to some, like St. Jude and some other stuff. Some other things I would do, I would invest the money in like gold and silver and probably some Bitcoin. I don't know, because even though I got money in, even though I have money in crypto, I like tangible things. I like tangible assets better, in all honesty. So, but yeah, and then I would probably, there's businesses that I would like to do. Like one thing is, I would like to recycle. You know, getting all the plastic and stuff like that and recycle it into stuff that's usable, because we waste way too much. We waste way too much. We're trashing this earth and everything. And I know for some of y'all, you know, you're going to think, oh, he's a liberal pussy. But you know what? Damn, liberal or conservative or whatever anybody is, that's something you can't deny. We use and waste too much, you know, and we are trashing our earth, whether global warming is, you know, whether global warming, climate change is man-made or whatever, you know, which I'm more on the climate change thing, because the climate changes whether we're here or not. So the earth has cycles and all that shit. So, but no matter what, we are trashing our home. We are destroying it. You know, it's like, you know, would you destroy the inside of your house? Would you let trash just lay everywhere? Would you just be like, okay, this corner over here is for the trash, and just keep piling trash up like we do in landfills? And, you know, would you just sling it everywhere like we do going down the road and all this and that? You know, so, yeah, earth is big and all this and that, but it's still home to us, and we're destroying it. So, yeah, I would like to do something to where I actually know things are being recycled, you know, because a lot of stuff doesn't get recycled. A lot of stuff ends up back in the landfill, you know, so, and then I got a number of other things that I would like to do if I won the lottery, if I won a huge lottery. So, okay, now we have Fletcher. Fletcher asks, do you watch any sports? If so, who's your favorite player? Yeah, these are in way different order than they were earlier. So, I do kind of, not like I used to. And this year it might be different, so, because I'm not giving my life to that place down there, so I might actually watch a lot of games this year. So, I don't know, we'll see. But I don't have the same. I used to watch the NBA until Paul Pierce and Ray Allen, and you know, those big three that they had were shitted out of the championship back in, what was it, 2010? I think it was 2010. They were shitted out of it. And it might be 2009 I'm thinking of. I can't remember. But yeah, there was a few minutes left in the game. The Boston Celtics were up. Kobe comes, and he's actually over the three-point line. Jumps. Damn, misses the shot. Doesn't get fouled. They say he was fouled. And they put him, and then they counted it as a 3. So he got 3 free throws. He made all 3 free throws, if I remember right. And then from then on, that whole game just changed, and it was just, they fucked the Celtics out of it. So, and, but yeah, so I quit watching basketball. That's when I quit watching the NBA. And then, like, I'll watch it here and there, like if it's on at somebody's house, or like if it would have been on at work, I might watch a couple minutes of it. But, and then, you know, like, my love for football was kind of fading, and I was like, and since I'm more of a player fan like, you know what? I think when Tom Brady retires, I'm done. And Tom Brady retired, and I just, you know, I was just like, which even his last year I didn't get to watch like that. But I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch anymore like that. And I haven't been, but I still love football. So I'm probably gonna end up watching this year more so than what I have been. So we'll see. But and my favorite player, like in the NBA, it's probably Steph Curry if I were to actually be watching the NBA. So that's probably who it would be. In the NFL, which I don't watch baseball, I don't watch hockey. But and then in the NFL, it would be, I don't know. That's kind of a hard one to say since I don't watch anymore. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see this year. I might end up with a favorite player this year. But, okay. Yeah, now we have Woan, however you pronounce it, Woahn. So, what's your favorite song? My favorite song is by Stained. Well, I actually have a few favorite songs, but if I was to have to say my absolute favorite one is by Stained, and it is, well, there's a few of them. Epiphany is one of them. The one where it's like, believe in me, this life's not always what it seems. I think it's called Believe. But, yeah, and Something to Remind You. Like, I love, that's my favorite song. So, but, yeah, where am I at? And what's been the most impactful moment in your life? The most impactful moment in my life has probably been two things. Me getting hit by the car, because that definitely impacted my life. And it's that. And another one that's right there with it is my divorce. So, because she pulled a bunch of bullshit. Now, she didn't do like some of it. Like, she could have been way worse. But the way she's done has been, it's been a lot of bullshit still. So, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that for right now. Because we can make this a really long video going into that. But, what cologne would you wear to your own funeral? Tommy Hilfiger. It would be Tommy, because that's my all-time favorite scent. I wish it lasted longer, but it's still my all-time favorite scent. And then we have Zachary. Any advice for someone in their mid-20s? Be patient. Be consistent. Learn as much as you can and be open-minded. You know, like, I'm not saying you got to accept everything, but be open-minded, because if you're open-minded, you can learn more. So, because if you're very closed-minded, you know, when you're presented with new information, you're going to reject it if you're too close, if you're not open-minded enough, if you're too close-minded. So, and even if you do reject it, think about it, you know. So, but yeah, learn as much as you can, invest what you can, learn work-life balance. You definitely need that balance. You need that balance so much, and don't sacrifice people and your time too much for money, because if things don't work out, those sacrifices are not going to be worth it. So, but yeah, to me, that's some of the most important things you could do. You know, learn patience, self-discipline, keep yourself consistent in everything you're doing. be open-minded and willing to learn and learn. Invest, spend your money wisely, because it's not just how much you make, it's also how much you don't spend. So, because I'm telling you, the way things are going, things are getting harder and harder and harder, and you lose so much of your buying power. And I'm not necessarily giving financial advice, I'm just saying you want to stick your money into things that will gain value. So that's what I do. That's what I've been trying to do, and that's what I wish I would have done earlier in life. So I don't want to give too much, because then you go do what I say and it don't work out, then you can sue me and fuck all that. So, but yeah. And then congrats on 3,000, dude. Thanks, man. Thank you. Saquari. I don't know why I was thinking that was Zachary, but yeah, it's Saquari, ain't it? So, yeah, I appreciate that. Been here since you had under 500. Hell yeah. So another one that's been around for a while. Now we have Cam. What's your favorite piece of old technology? Depends on how old we're talking about, because we could go to like rotary phones and, Ataris and stuff like that, or we can go back not too long ago and it be, this fucking fly is driving me crazy, or it can be like CDs and DVDs, which that's probably what I'll go with, is CDs and DVDs. Kind of miss landline phones, like, back in the day, rotary phones and everything. But yeah, we'll probably go with CDs, because CDs and DVDs, because they beat tapes. Like tapes, you would have to, when they'd mess up and everything, it was a bitch. Now you can scratch, you can scratch DVDs and CDs, but still, yeah, that's probably what I'm going with. Okay, now we have Kanye Swap. So what are some good niche brands you recommend for a beginner that gives the dark oud winter/fall scents? Now, I don't necessarily know about niche, because I don't have too much niche stuff. So, but as far as like a oud type fragrance, this is one of my favorite ones altogether. And my 17-year-old son, he loves this shit. He keeps trying to get this bottle off of me, and I'm like, dude, at Christmas time, I might buy you a bottle. So, but yeah, he loves this stuff. It's sweet. It's kind of green, from the cannabis and everything that's in it. It's got oud in it too, if I remember it right. But yeah, this stuff is so lovely. But I don't think it'd be for everybody. But if you like dark scents and you like kind of like a wide range in dark scents, this is kind of like in the wide range, because it's not your normal dark scents. This is a different fragrance. So, and you can get it for like $50. Another one, which is one of the ones that I just got not too long ago. Latafa Rock by Wood Intense EDP. This is your dark smoky spray for y'all. Spray for me. But this is dark and smoky. So, and then yeah. Then we have Niche for All, Patchouli TB, and this leans. I love this stuff too. This starts lean. This is like your winter. This one your like fall and winter scents, and this is like more like towards pretty much like a Paco Rabanne 1 million. So, and then Story Fling. Fragrance Story Fling. This has like a cola vibe to me. Yeah. Spray for y'all. So, another winter fragrance and one of my absolute favorites. This is not a oud fragrance, but this is a Sorrow Hot Pepper, and this is what I have worn the most, as you can tell by the juice level. This stuff is absolutely great. I love this shit. But yeah. So, a Sorrow Hot Pepper. Like I said, not oud, but definitely a winter fragrance and fall fragrance. So, and then I have other ones, but we'll do a video on them. So, yeah. So, and then number 2, how much have you spent on cologne in your life? I don't know about in my life because, you know, up until just a few years ago, I really wasn't that big on cologne. As long as I had a good smelling body wash, good smelling deodorant and everything, I was good. Now, like, I'd have a bottle of cologne here and there, but it would be like a bottle of Curve or, you know, something else, you know. But I was never really a big cologne wearer. And then just like 4 years ago, I was taking the kids school shopping, and we were at Burlington, and I noticed a few, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get a couple bottles. They're cheap. I'm working a good amount, so I can afford it right now, and I grabbed a couple of them, and I just took off from there. So yeah. But in the past few years, I probably spent 10 grand on them, somewhere around in there. Yeah. But third question is, what are your end of world essentials, and not just cologne? Like, what can you not live without? Water. Like, I'd want to have things to filter water. I'd want to have things like guns and ammo to protect myself and my family. I'd want to have, and so I could hunt and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd want stuff like that. I'd want first aid stuff, bandages, you know, different like different antibacterial and antimicrobial things for wounds and stuff like that. And you know, like books in the stuff, so if I needed to, I could read up on different things. But yeah, stuff like that for the most part. But, and then, the fourth question, if you don't mind opening up, what are you struggling with? Not just physically, I mean mentally, because I know what it's like to feel like you're fighting a losing battle, but it does get brighter. Yeah, I've had a hell of a life with things. So, like, you know, I got hit by the car at 14. I was bullied before, you know, I was bullied whenever I was a kid. Bullied some of my teenage years too, but, yeah, it's mainly like medical problems and just stuff from my kids and everything, and all the years of just life hitting me over and over and over again, and me failing over and over and over, which a lot of it is because of the medical problems. A lot of it is because of things I do too, you know. So I'm not gonna put it all on the medical problems. I am gonna take accountability for things too. But yeah, because a lot of stuff I should have made different choices. So, and then I have so much money in crypto. Like I did things back in November and December and everything that I shouldn't have done. Like whenever I wrecked my truck, instead of fixing my truck, I put the money into crypto. I took out a loan around Christmas time, put it into crypto because of certain things I was watching, you know, and like looking at all-time highs and this and that, and then taking a loan out on my 401k, putting that in, and then Trump got in office, tariffs started, this and that, all the other stuff, and then crypto tanked. So now I'm looking at myself down thousands of dollars, because on top of it, I was still putting money in from when I'm working. So now I'm having to wait till quarter 4, and I'm looking at everything, the medical problems beating me the way they've been beating me, because I look fine, but I'm not. And, and like right now, I feel better, but just a little while ago, I was having to fight things, and as it got dark, I was standing outside talking to my next door neighbor. It got too dark. My phone was about to die. I didn't have the flashlight. So as I'm walking, I'm having trouble keeping my balance, because for some reason I can't keep my balance in the dark anymore. I fell against my house and everything. So yeah, I'm not as good as I look, and that kind of fucks with me too. Because I look at myself and I'm like, dude, you don't even look like anything's wrong. So it's a complete mind fuck. But yeah, I'm looking at the thousands of dollars I've lost, and I need that money. I need that money right now. I'm in debt with the IRS because of my fucking ex. So I'm in debt with the IRS, and it's just a number of things, and it's like all the effort I've put into things, and it's the results never match my efforts, not even close. So it's just beat down after beat down after beat down, and the nerve pains in my foot when I was working, they were getting worse and worse, and and they were changing, and the nerve pains, man, like the nerve pains, nothing takes them away. So like I ended up going to the ER like 3 weeks ago, and I was in there crying and shit and shaking and everything, and like the other day a nerve pain hit me, and I got mad and I punched I did your typical white boy shit, but I had there's a wooden board sitting up against my counter that my son was gonna take that he didn't take. So, but I walked by and I was like, God damn it! And I punched that motherfucker, and which some of it's healed now, but yeah, and it is like those things drive me nuts. But it's like all the medical problems, and I'm losing my ability to drive, and I'm losing my ability to work, and I can't work out. I'm like losing my quality of life, and and then having to keep going to work, it was just like it was shutting me down. So, and then I ended up on prednisone because that's what they gave me for the nerve pains, and that was like what, the week before last week. I think it was the week before last week when I was on it, which I quit taking it. I abruptly quit taking it because I wasn't even gonna finish titrating off it, and she had me sitting in a parking lot crying, and every day I was fighting myself mentally bad. So yeah, for like a week and a half I got real bad because of that shit. But yeah, other than that though, it's just all the medical problems really. And then I'm looking at myself running out of time with my kids, and it's just, that's fucking with me too. So, because like, when I was younger, I didn't necessarily care to be a dad or anything like that. And then I became a dad, and then I loved being a dad. I love being a dad. I still am. Never quit being one. But then when my kids moved in with their mom, and our relationship fell apart, and no matter what I was doing, it wasn't staying. So it just, all that shit got to me, And it was just, it was, all of it's just beating me down, and I need a win. I really do. I need a win, but I'm feeling better, man. I'm starting to slowly feel better since I haven't been to work in almost 2 weeks, and I decided to quit, and it's been almost a week since then. I'm slowly feeling better mentally. So maybe things are about to turn around. I don't know. times. Who was your favorite skater growing up? Okay, now I didn't necessarily have a favorite skater, but I had a favorite that I played with on Tony Hawk, and that was Rune Glifberg. That his signature move on there was the Christ Air, which he isn't even who started the Christ Air. I cannot remember the dude's name. That was his. He was actually the one to start it, but on Tony Hawk Pro Skater, that was Rune Glifberg's move. But yeah, he was my favorite skater on the game. As far as watching, I didn't really have one. I just liked the majority of them. So, but yeah. Okay, and now we have Austin Day. So Austin asked, "Do you think school is worth it?" Now that's a tricky question, Austin, because in ways I think it is worth it, but in ways I don't think it is. Like, I think things need to be revamped with it. Like, if we didn't have school at all, I think there would be a lot of dumbass people. A whole lot of dumbass people out there, because I don't think the majority of parents would really teach their kids shit, and and so many kids don't want to go to school. So I don't, if there was no school, yeah, I think we would have a bunch of dumbasses. So way too many of them. So I do think school is good in certain aspects, but in others, it could be way better. Like, we end up learning a lot of stuff that we don't even use throughout life. Like, why are we not learning tax code? Why are we not learning how to read bills? Why are we not actually learning money and currency and finance and investing? Like, there is a lot to all that shit. There is a whole lot to that shit. So why are we not learning that more? I think there needs to be a lot more done. Finance, banking, tax code, cooking. God damn, how many people don't know how to cook, So, yeah, I think certain things need to be taught more than others. Like, how many people are trying to figure out 2x minus y equals 4, So, that's for, like, stuff that you'd actually want to do, So, to learn other things like that. Yeah. And favorite thing to do in your free time? Spend time with my kids. Spend time with people, that I like to be around and everything. Do these videos. Like, make music if my stuff was back, if my stuff was back up. And if I can get my health back, working out, riding, still riding bikes. Like, the only reason why I don't work out and hike and ride bikes and shit like that is because of the medical problems. That's it. That's like, that is some of my favorite shit to do. Like, working out, man. If I didn't have the medical problems, I would be an absolute beast. So, yeah, and I miss it. And what is your opinion on NIL? I didn't even know what that was. I had to look it up. But your image and all that shit, like, I agree with it. They just because you are a college sports player or whatever doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to get endorsements and everything like that. That is your talent. That is your ability. That is your work. That you are putting in. To either keep your talent going or enhance it or show it off or whatever, putting it to use. So, yeah, I do agree with it. That they should be able to do that. So, yeah. And P.S. Congrats. Appreciate it, Austin. Now, Nikki, you've been here for a while too. Hell yeah. Thank you thanks for being around too. Especially considering, I don't have many female listeners. So, what's your favorite childhood memory? what I do have, a lot of them are not good memories. So, but like I remember my grandparents cussing each other out in Italian, more so my grandpa, at the dinner table whenever I was younger. My grandma I used to have my grandma cut my sandwiches in 16 pieces. So I'd have her cut my grilled cheese sandwiches in 16 pieces. Yeah, and like I can remember other stuff, but I can't like remember it to a point where I can really tell it. So, and that really sucks. But yeah, like those are some of my favorite childhood memories that I can remember. Well, here's one. Like, it depends on childhood. Do you mean like preteen or what? Because there was another one where like one of the dudes that would pick on me. Because they would jump on me. You know, it'd always be 2, 3, 4 on 1. They'd throw rocks at me, do all kinds of shit. Like I played with the younger kids a lot. So, because the kids my age were a little bit older, I guess it's because I was the outcast that wasn't, from the neighborhood. So I got bullied whenever I moved up here. But me and one of the younger kids, we were throwing the football, and this other dude, Chris was like, man, y'all, if one of y'all hit my truck with that football, Graham, I'm coming up there and I'm beating your ass. Because we were up at the road and it was down a hill, and then there was a downhill, and it kind of came up a little bit and went to the driveway where they were playing basketball at. And he was like, man, Graham, I'm gonna come back up there and I'm gonna beat your ass. And I got mad. I told Jamie, I was like, Jamie, hit the truck. So, and damn, I forgot what he did. I think he did hit the truck, or he might have thrown it back at me, and then I hit the truck or something. But Chris came running up that hill. He was like, man, I told you I was gonna beat your ass. He come running up the hill, and I grabbed him, and I scooped him up, and I threw him back down the hill. And then he jumped up, and he was just looking at me, and the other ones were like, man, go get him, Chris, go get him. Like, they didn't get up to come after me like I thought they were going to. But yeah, they didn't. They were telling him to come up there and get me, and he wouldn't do it. So, that was a good memory right there. So, but yeah, as far as childhood, like, I can kind of remember going to Easter seals with my grandma whenever I was little, but I don't remember too much. So, but yeah, so in favorite singers / bands, now I have quite a few, like Slipknot. My favorite singer is probably Aaron Lewis. That's probably my favorite singer. I like Corey Taylor too. Another good singer is Anthony Vincent for 10-second songs. Then, like bands, there's this new band that I found called The Last Cure. Then there's the Paradox Band. They're young, so, but they remind me of Blink 182. So I found them on Instagram. He's got a song talking about the whole football team tagging this girl. Damn, this shit's funny. It's like, yeah, damn, man. But yeah, and I have quite a few. Limp Bizkit. So Limp Bizkit is one of my favorite bands. But, and then there's others, and I just can't think of the names of them right now. And what is a must try that you and recommend to someone visiting your city / region? My city, there's nothing here. This place sucks. There's nothing here. Like, if I had the money, I would try to put some shit around here, but there's nothing here. So, now there's like Asheville. There's stuff to do there. Oh, I love Asheville. I haven't been there in a few years because I have trouble going up in elevation because it affects my Chiari. Then we have, then there's things to do in Charlotte, like iFly and other things, and there's stuff to do in Greenville, but I haven't been anywhere in so long. I don't really know, because all my life is work, medical problems, and home. So, yeah. But yeah, I really gotta get out more. I gotta change my life. And then another question Nikki has is, what is your dream vacation destination and why? Oh, it is this place in Norway. I think it's Norway. Oh man, what is it? Hold on. I'm gonna see. I took a screenshot of it, and I'm gonna see if I have the screenshot. I don't remember if I took it on the phone that I'm recording on, or this one right here. But we're about to find out, and I think, yup, I took it on that phone. So it's like someplace in Norway. Like, you see the aurora borealis a whole lot. And it's just a really beautiful place. It's like, hold on. The island of Sommerøy in northern Norway. Like, I would love to go there. Y'all look it up, and you know, listen to some of the stuff about it. That's one of the places I would really like to go. So, that's probably my number one spot right now. But, you know, you gotta probably fly to get there, and considering I can't even handle going up in the mountains most of the time, I don't even know how I'd handle the flight. So, it sucks. But yeah, Nikki, that's probably my dream destination right now. And what happened to my comments? Okay, here we go. My comments just disappeared. And now I'm trying to get back. Okay, and now we have Nightmare 6. So, I'm fairly new to your channel. I want to say I've been subscribed for about 2, maybe 3 months, but I really do enjoy your content. Thank you. Appreciate it. And keep your head up. Nothing but blessings coming your way. But I want to ask, what did you mean by the hole in your leg getting bigger? Okay, so when I got hit by the car, it ripped a nerve out of my back. That's why I get the nerve pains and all that shit, and I walk with a limp, and that's the real reason why I walk with a limp, because my hip muscle deteriorated. So, yeah, and I was never able to get the strength back in it. So, because that nerve being ripped out of my lower back, and they said they could reset my nerve, but there's a chance that it would cause more problems. Then the surgeon was leaning to not do it, and I figured, well, if a surgeon's leaning to not do it, I'm gonna go with not doing it. So, because I don't want more problems and I don't want more pain. So, yeah, that was found out in 2006. I got hit by the car in February of '97. Now, in 2000, and I think it was October of 2000, I was pulling a piece of dead skin. I just got out of the shower, I was getting ready for work, I seen a piece of dead skin, and at the time I had no feeling in my foot. So I pulled a piece of dead skin and it ripped into live skin, and it started bleeding, so I hurried up, put pressure to it, I got it to stop bleeding. But where I ripped that skin, it was still there. But I was thinking, you know what, I'm young, I heal fast, I'm in shape, damn, and I've been through all this shit and I'm still good. I'll be fine, it'll be alright. Well, it was just kind of like a diabetic. It turned into kind of like the way a diabetic wound does, you know. But because of the nerve damage and everything, it's a pressure wound. But because brace and everything too because I can't move my foot. So, but yeah, so I got it to stop bleeding. I figured I'd be good with it all. So I bandaged it up. I went to work. Well, I was working like 16 hours a day at the time. You know, I was going in the morning, at like 8 in the morning, doing prep and everything, then cooking the rest of the day and all that shit, and I was working till close. Now, it got infected. It got into my bone. I had a surgery in 2001 that they didn't like do a bone scan or anything to see if there was any infection in the bone. They just did like a skin flap. Well, as soon as I got back on my feet, it started breaking back down. I walked around like that because, you know, I didn't have the feeling back then. So I walked around for, you know, a while, and then I went and seen an orthopedic surgeon. Well, they found bone infection, so they went in, they took the bone, and they took the infected bone out. I was off my feet for a few months, and they had antibiotic beads packed in there and everything. They went in, did another surgery, took the antibiotic beads out, put new bone back, put bone graft back in with an antibiotic mixture, and then closed it back up. I was off my feet for a little while longer, and then I got back on my foot, and within like 2 or 3 months it broke back open, and just there it went. And then in 2005 I was seeing surgeons. They were talking about that an option they could do was take my heel bone out, but it would cause me to walk even worse. So I was like, well, damn, I can't do that. Damn. And they were talking about, they could take one of my stomach muscles and with an artery and put it down there. And I was like, well, I don't know if I want that. I'm fucked up enough. I don't want one of my stomach muscles taken out. So I was like, I don't want to do that. And they said, well, the only other option we really have is amputation. I sat there and cried. And, cause you know, I was only like 23 at the time. So I sat there and cried, and then I was like, I'm not losing my foot. I'll figure out a way. And I've already been on PICC lines, had all kinds of antibiotics already and everything. And, you know, sometimes I wonder if some of my medical problems are all the really strong antibiotics I've been on just totally destroying my system. Because, you know, well, we can get into other stuff as to why I, you know, say this stuff, but yeah, so I ended up taking myself off my feet, started drinking green superfoods and everything, and I got it almost closed up, but I had to get back on it. So I got back on it, and then it started opening up more, and this and that, and I've just been going through the years on and off of it, getting it almost closed up, then it coming back, you know, open more, and this past time I had it damn near closed up, but they thought I had skin cancer in it. So they thought I had skin cancer in it. They took a biopsy. Luckily, it wasn't skin cancer, but they thought it was because the wound doctor said that wounds like this that have been there for years and years, a lot of them develop skin cancer. And he said the way part of it looked that wasn't closing up looked like skin cancer. So yeah, I have a hole in my heel. Now, I have more feeling in my foot than I used to. Like the inside half of my foot, I have feeling. The outside half of my foot, I don't have feeling. But I have it bandaged and everything right now. But yeah, you can see the drainage that came through the bandage, and I've showed the hole in my foot before on a previous video, but I don't remember which video it is, otherwise I'd tell you. But I thought about doing a video just on it, period. So, but yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And here lately, it's been trying to open up more again. So, and what I was doing before isn't working, which what closed it up, because the last time it got damn near pretty much my whole heel, and I was still having to work and all that, so I had to move me into the lab to where I could sit down more. And I started using Manuka honey. Well, the Manuka honey is really good for wounds, and it did close pronounced and all this and that shit, but here lately it's trying to get bigger. So it's like, damn, that sucks. But yeah, so that's what I'm talking about with the hole in my foot. And then we have Cat Mosh. What's up, man? And you're on my Facebook, so you see me bitching about shit all the time. But thoughts on medical marijuana for your symptoms? I have a friend that suffers from a lot of the same illnesses as you, and she stopped smoking for a long time. She stopped smoking a long time ago, but recently started again. It's improved her life drastically. Now, I've thought about it because I quit smoking, when all my stuff started in '08. I quit smoking, and then in 2010 I started smoking, and even after I quit taking the metoprolol that the doctors put me on, I could smoke, but I'd get up in the morning, I'd pack my bowl, I'd take a couple of hits off my bowl, get a good feeling buzz, and then I'd put my headphones on, I'd grab my bicycle, and I'd ride like hell to work, and my heart would stay in rhythm. It wouldn't try to go crazy on me or anything. And for like a year it worked, and then out of nowhere it started setting off my symptoms more and more. So I eventually quit smoking again. And then I started back, after me and my ex-wife split again in 2015. And, it helped for a little while, and then it started back bothering me in like 2019, 2020, somewhere, in like 2020, 2021, somewhere around there. It started bothering me again. It started making me throw up and everything. It started making me really paranoid. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done with it again. And, but I've thought about it. But this shit now is different than it used to be. Like, I smell it on people now and it fucking stinks. Like, they smell like mildew, and I've smelled it on multiple people, people I don't know and everything. Like, I've smelled the same smell on them that I've smelled on the people I know, and it's like, shit fucking stinks. So I don't even know if I even want to try it anymore. And if I do, and especially consider my symptoms are different than they used to be, because it used to be more of just straight up like a dysautonomia type thing. Now it's not just a dysautonomia type thing. Now it's actual dizziness and different things with my head and, vestibular system and all that stuff. So I don't even know if I want to try it anymore now. But yeah, I guess I'm still open to it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm not as open to it as I used to be, but that's just for me personally. Like, as far as other people, man, do what you get, as far as anybody else, do what helps you. Do what you think can help you, because a loud car went by, so I had to stop. But do what helps you, because everybody is different. Like pharmaceuticals don't help everybody, supplements don't help everybody, herbs don't help everybody. Everybody's different. Diet doesn't help everybody. So maybe not for me, but yeah, for anybody that wants to try it, sure, I'm down for anybody else trying it. But right now, honestly, I'm kind of scared to try it. So, but maybe one day I might do it again. So I might try again. Never know. That's great that it helped her though. Because living with medical problems fucking sucks. Okay, and then we got Wody. Wody asks, where do you get the oversized fitted ads you wear in every video? Well, they're not fitted. All of them are snapback. Now, I prefer a fitted ad. I prefer a fitted ad, but they're all snapbacks. But, like, some of them come from a place called Bug Wholesale. Now, Bug Wholesale, though, you can get ads on there dirt cheap, but they don't have the same quality. And like, this is a buck wholesale hat. And man, when I ordered a whole shitload of them, a lot of them were messed up. So now Buck Wholesale was pretty good at trying to make up for it. But like this right here, see how that is? A lot of the hats have mistakes in them like that. That's the reason why I kept this hat for myself. And then we put the Sea Greatness. That was the company me and Leslie had, which is still up, but we just don't use it anymore. We don't do nothing with it anymore. But yeah, I mean, they still look pretty good. But like this will come up because they only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 row stitching. Like I like 8 row stitching, and I like as much stitching as I can get close to the dome of the hat. So but the other hats, like my Christopher Cologne hats, those, like all the Rap Life hats, are the Buck Wholesale hats. And a couple of my Decky hats, they bubbled up a little bit, but it's not as bad because they have more stitching. They have more rows of stitching, but they're Decky, so Decky makes pretty good. If I could get a hold of new era hats, or I need to find hats that are just as good, if not better than new era, which I like Yapung, or however you pronounce it. I like their hats, like the Flex Fits hat. The Flex Fit hats I would really like. Now this is my Puma hat, but the Flex Fit, now it stretches. Like, I'd like to have some fitted hats like that to have my Christopher Cologne stuff on. So, but yeah, that's where I get those at, Wody. And yeah, just look on the Decky site or look on Buck Wholesale if you want to get hats cheap, like dirt cheap. But remember, you're getting what you pay for. So that's the reason why I like all my Rap Life hats are the Buck Wholesale hats. And whenever I get to where I can sell them, I'm gonna sell those dirt cheap. So but yeah, now Aaron, what's up, Aaron? Aaron's been here for a while too. What's your story with Leslie? Have you guys ever lived together or thought about it, making bills cheaper and all that? Now, we haven't lived together because she lives almost an hour from me. So her and her kids live with her parents. So, and she's got it good there. And like, my place is paid for. Like, the place is paid for, but I still rent the land. So, but I would be stupid to leave here. So, and her kids there, she's got a 17-year-old boy, 16-year-old girl, and her youngest is, I think, 12, I think, or at least 12, but yeah, so we just kind of keep it like it is right now. And so like, she's wanted me to move up there, but I'm 43. I don't want to live with somebody else's parents. So, and this shit's mine. So even though it's not the way I want it, it's still mine. So yeah, but other than that, we're good. So now Joe, 5 fragrances for life. 5 fragrances for life. My Tommy Hilfiger is a fragrance for life. My Dunhill Driven is a fragrance for life. My Dunhill Driven EDT is a fragrance for life. I love this shit. So that's 2. My Dr. Squatch Fireside Bourbon is a fragrance for life. That's 3. My Azaro Hot Pepper is a fragrance for life. And my LPDO Hash Intense is a fragrance for life. It's all, man, I have a few others that are like tied, but I kind of can't fit them, you know, because that's 5. But I do have like a top 20 that pretty much all, well, top 10 to 15 that all of them are pretty much right there with each other. So yeah, but those are the 5 that I got for this video. Okay, and now Christian, do you think that everything happens for a reason? No. No, I don't. Like, I think things just happen. Shit happens. Now, I do think that it is up to us to find we need to find a reason that it happened, or give it a reason so we can put meaning behind, it's up to us to put the meaning behind stuff, now, and that could be dangerous, because if you get a crazy person or a person that's in the wrong, in the wrong frame of mind, they can end up, giving it, thinking it happened for a wrong reason. But even if you think things happen for a reason, that could still be the same thing. So, but no, I don't necessarily believe things are meant to be or happen for a reason or anything. I do think there's just a very high level of entropy out there, and shit just happens. So that's just the way I look at it, because I don't know, I've never really believed things happen for a reason or meant to be or anything like that, because if I did, I would be very, very angry. So, but the second question Christian has is, what are your top 3 favorite rappers of all time? Oh, Eminem, because when I was younger, I related to his lyrics a lot. So, poor motherfucker trying to come up, bullied a lot, no dad around. So, yeah. And then, man, there's Hobson. I love Hobson, man. Hobson is one of my all-time favorite rappers. And then, oh, shit, there's other ones. There's other ones too, like Samson. You got Samson. Then you got, oh shit, what's his name? Damn it, Christian, I'm drawing a blank right now, and it sucks. Like, I love Nas too. Like, Nas is one of my all-time favorites. Damn, I am having so much trouble thinking right now. But for the sake of the video, we're just gonna go Hobson, Nas, and what's his name? And Eminem. Then we got Savant, that's on Instagram, ONA Savant. And then we got oh shit, this one dude, he does like a weird dance as he's rapping, and he's a different style of rapper, man. I'm gonna do a video, all my favorite rappers, all my favorite musicians and stuff. So I'm gonna have to do a video on that. That way I can get some time to actually think, because right now they're not coming to mind. Okay, and then Killrain, what conspiracy theory do you believe has the most validity? 9/11. 9/11 being an inside job is the one that I believe in other conspiracy theories too, because damn, to fucking too much crazy shit happens, but that's like 9/11 is probably the one that I think has the most validity. Now, I don't think holograms flew into the building. I don't, like people try to say those planes were just holograms and everything. I don't believe that. I do believe real planes hit those buildings, but I also believe those things were there was damn explosives set off to bring those buildings down the way they came down. And then like World Trade Center 7, the way it came down later on that day, why didn't other buildings come down? It just so happened to be World Trade Center 7. Come on now. And then passports. The black boxes didn't survive, but passports survived enough to where you could see who it was and everything. Nah, man. I really think we had shit to do with it. They played us for stupid. I really believe that shit. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not saying that that it wasn't people from another country, but I think we did have shit to do with it. So, but yeah, that's the one that I think has the most validity. So, and then there's other reasons I'll give for that I can give for that, but that's another one that I could stretch this out, and I don't even know what we're at. We're pretty far in this video now. And then Grant says, been in the same struggle with medical conditions and oppressive factory jobs. I feel for you, man, and know where you are at. Hate you got the medical problems too, man. I really do. It's a bullshit. It's bullshit. So finally, after a few years here, I'm doing contractor work and enjoying it. So there's hope. Damn, glad shit turned around. Best luck to you, and I hope things work out. Really like your channel. Thank you. Appreciate it, Grant. And how far away are the stars? What do you mean? Oh, it's just a random question Peter asked on Family Guy. Damn, I forgot all about that. Yeah, man. I haven't seen Family Guy in I don't know how long. So, damn, it started me all the way over. Okay, where we at? I haven't watched Family Guy in a long time. But I don't even think when I did watch I ever heard him say that, or at least not that I remember. Now, oh yeah, here's another one. Do colorless green ideas sleep furiously? I was like, what the fuck when I read that? So I googled it and everything, and this is what Nostalgia Clinic said. That's what he asked, and I looked it up and everything, and I googled it, and it pulled up for Noam Chomsky, but I never heard it before, so it just said, yeah. But, and then we have Cyber Donkey. I love that name, Cyber Donkey. What's your dream car / truck? Also, congrats. Thank you. My dream, man, I have a few in all honesty. I would love to have a replica of the Fast and the Furious, the first one, the Supra. I would love to have that manual it's gotta have the manual transmission, everything. So I would love to have that one. Another one I would like to have is Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds. So it doesn't even have to be the 67, it could be the 68. Because I'm pretty sure it's a 67. I would love to have a yellow Skyline, yellow Saturn Sky. I would love to have that. Blacktop convertible, yellow chrome rims, and I would like to have a car that I had back in the day, 1997 Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider convertible with the 5-speed manual transmission. I had that car. I loved it. I would would like to have another. The only problem is they're like some of the worst cars when it comes to leaking, the convertible top leaking. So like I had new seals put in. I had the place I got the car from. I took it back. They readjusted it. They put new seals in it and everything, and it kept leaking when it rained. Come to find out, that was one of the worst convertibles for leaking. But yeah, those are my dream cars. But the Supra is my number one. And then where am I at? Okay, yeah, and then we have Kilrain. What's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten and actually liked? Chocolate covered grasshoppers. It was on a field trip with my daughter for we went to Discovery Place in Charlotte. They had chocolate covered grasshoppers, so I tried one. I liked it. They're actually pretty good. Kind of felt weird, but yeah, it was actually good. But I love chocolate anyway, so. Okay, and now we have I am nobody named Phil. Well, nobody named Phil asked, do you think Earth is a simulation? I don't think it's a simulation, but I think it's a good possibility that we might be living in a simulation. So, I don't necessarily think we are, but I think the chances could be up there. So, and I know some people are like, oh hell no man, that's crazy talk. But when you think about where the mind could be and where they're going with technology, like if you could, that's like, the Matrix. Something like that is a possibility. So, I mean, maybe not right now, but at some point in time, it will be a good possibility. So, yeah, I think it's a possibility we could be living in a simulation. Now we have Chickadee. Do you believe in conspiracy theories? If so, which ones? If you can think of any. I do believe in some conspiracy theories. So, I do believe in some. And some of them, the conspiracy theory does make a lot of sense. Like the conspiracy theory of 9/11, that we had something to do with it. Because there is so much to that. And like I said, then you got the passports surviving. When the black boxes didn't, you have the World Trade Center Building 7 coming down because they said debris hit it. So a block or two over the World Trade Center 7 collapses because debris hit it, but debris didn't bring down any other building. Come on now, man. So yeah, but then in the 60s, we were going to bomb one of our own ships and say Cuba did it so we could go to war with Cuba. Well, Congress turned it down. Well, the world's a grimy place. You can get by, if it's just a certain amount of people to do shit, you can get by it. So, but yeah, I do believe in certain, in some conspiracies and everything. So, and I do believe that, for some of them, the possibility of the conspiracy is greater or makes more sense than the actual, straight up story. So, I'm getting tired, y'all. Okay, now, if you could instantly master any skill, non-ASMR, what would it be? Oh, if I could master any skill, non-ASMR, what would it be? I don't know. Let me do the other questions. What piece of ASMR gear or prop has the strangest backstory? I don't really have any that have a strange backstory, but Greg, my mannequin, he came from the business me and Leslie had. We used to set him out in front in the middle of, like, we had a yard out front of the building, and we'd set him out with a balloon tied to his arm, and his arm raised up like he was waving at people, and it did actually get some people in because he's a bright orange mannequin. So, but yeah, and if you could have any fictional character give you an ASMR session, who would it be? I don't know. Possibly Chico, because White Rabbit did a Chico video, and that was one of my favorite videos. So yeah, because of that, it would probably be Chico. And back to the master any skill non-ASMR, what would it be? I guess to play guitar and piano perfectly. You know, I guess that's what it would be. Yeah. Play guitar and piano perfectly. Or just master music, everything. So, then we got Eric Dominguez. Have you thought about changing your YouTube name? I really have. Like, I've thought about going to my CG, just back to me, you know. But I've also thought about changing the name of this channel to Versatile ASMR, because I am pretty versatile. I do bounce around, cooking, you know, just making sounds, damn, doing shit in the dark, cologne reviews, other product reviews, you know, so yeah, I have thought about changing it to like Versatile ASMR, and I've also thought about starting up another channel and calling that Versatile ASMR. So yeah, I've thought about it, especially here lately. And then, how many kindergartners could you take in a fight? That's no G. And I said currently or before all my medical problems set up to me. Okay, so currently I'm only taking one. That's all I'm taking. Like, right now, the way I am, you could fuck me up. I hate to say it, because I've always been able to take a punch. I ain't gonna say I was a great fighter, but I could take a beating. But nowadays, nah. Now, before I got, before my medical problems and everything, 100 of them, I'm fucking y'all little motherfuckers up. So, no, I'm just messing. Yeah, I'd have been able to take a whole lot. So, but, yeah, that's a funny question. Okay, now we got Bernie. What's up, Bernie? Bernie's been here a long time, too. Have you ever wondered what it's like to kiss a guy? Oh, yeah, I remember, man. Of course, Bernie ain't gonna come out with an actual straight-up question. So, then he put cap. Yeah, I ain't, damn, man. What kind of question is that? No, I haven't. But, damn. And, I'm surprised Ripstar didn't ask me some crazy bullshit like that either. So, and then last question, do you support any soccer teams or sports teams in general? If so, who and why? I know you like Tom Brady a lot, of course. So, and that's from Masses 18. Okay. But, yeah, so do you support any soccer teams? No. I've never watched soccer. Like, I might have watched a couple minutes of it here and there, but I've never actually watched a game. So, and sports teams, considering Tom Brady is the, I've heard he's got ownership in the Patriots now. I've heard that. I need to look it up, but if he does, I'll definitely support the Patriots again. So, but yeah, basketball, it would have been, if I were to watch basketball again, it would be Boston. Boston, probably, because, you know, that's just because when I liked the Bulls when I was younger, it was mainly because of Michael Jordan. Boston Celtics, I liked them just because the team. So, and I hate the Lakers. So, yeah. But yeah, y'all. So I appreciate the questions and this video being able to happen. If I missed one of y'all, let me know, because like I said, I was halfway through and this thing started me over. And I mean, I'm pretty sure I got all the questions, but yeah, we'll see. So, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I don't know what Monday's video is going to be, but I guess we'll see on Monday. So, I'm going to get off here, y'all, because it is 2:59 a.m. on Thursday night, Friday morning. So, I'm kind of ready to go to sleep. But yeah, so I'm going to get off here, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Have a good one, and peace, peace, peace,